This is Bishop George Johnson with your midday motivation. This is another opportunity to live your dream and to step into your purpose. Guys, I'm so excited. It's Wednesday. This is another opportunity to get over that hump, man, and enjoy the rest of your week. Guys, we're still in Mark chapter 2. I can't get out of it. I've tried to get out of it, but I cannot get out of it. Mark chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. A story of a paralyzed man who had one goal, one vision in life, and that was to walk. That's it. That was his only goal, was to walk. When he come to where Jesus is in Capernaum, he can't get near Jesus because there's a crowd surrounding the house, and then there's a crowd on the inside of the house. The crowd was so packed, he can't get near Jesus. We learned Friday that when life throws you obstacles, you still have to make sure you have a clear, concise, cutting edge, and you have to be a little bit crazy type vision. When life throws obstacles at you, you still have to do that. Monday we learned you can't retreat, you can't turn around, you can't surrender, you can't play the blaming game and start pointing fingers at each other. And most importantly, you have to match the intensity of the challenge. No matter how difficult it is, you still got to match the intensity of the challenge. I believe we're still learning powerful nuggets from this paralyzed man. Today, I want to share something with you that the Lord shared with me when I was studying this paralyzed man. Here he is. He comes to where Jesus is. He can't get near him because of the crowd on the outside of the house and the crowd that's on the inside of the house. He refused to be turned around, but here's the lesson that I learned from this man today, because I kept thinking, how did he get from the back of the crowd to the front of the crowd? Listen, you have to be intentional and you have to be innovative. You have to be intentional and you have to be innovative. What do you mean by being intentional? Listen, here's a paralyzed man laying on a mat in the back of the crowd. He had to get near the house to where Jesus is. He had to be intentional as he was moving his way through the crowd, because everybody wanted to see Jesus. Everybody wanted to get near Jesus. Everybody wanted to touch Jesus. Everybody wanted to be healed. So he had to be intentional how he moved his way, calculated through the crowd so that he can get near the house. What do you mean by that, Pastor George? He probably did like most of you do today. You know how when you go to a place and you're in the back of the line, you see somebody you know, and you be like, hey man, what's up, you know, you act like you know them, and you move your way up there, you talk to them a little bit, and then, you know, you act like you know somebody else, you build a relationship, act like you know somebody else, and you move to the front, you're sharing your story as you're moving through the crowd because you're trying to get to your goal, you're trying to get to your dream. This is what he was doing. As he was maneuvering his way through the crowd to get to where Jesus was, he was being intentional. Let me ask you a question. And what we call that today, when you're trying to talk to people, we simply call that networking. Are you networking or are you being negative? In other words, when you're faced with an obstacle or goal and things stop and things shut down on you, are you networking or are you being negative? This paralyzed man was networking. He was acting like you know people. Hey man, what's up? Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, man, I came from so-and-so. I'm just trying to get healed, man. Listen, man, he was networking his way through the crowd. Are you networking your dream or are you being negative? Point number 2, he was building alliances. As he was going through the crowd, he was telling, hey man, yeah, man, let me tell you what happened, man. You know, back in the day, man, I used to go walk, but I can't walk no more. Maybe he was saying, you know, man, I was born with this condition, but I heard Jesus was in this town, man, and I'm going to get healed. As soon as I get healed, man, I'm going to tell him I know you. He was building alliances as he was moving through the crowd. So let me ask you a question. Are you building alliances or are you being angry? Are you the angry man? When things don't work out, you complain, you gripe, you murmur, you fuss, you get mad at everybody. It's everybody's fault but your fault. I want you to look at this paralyzed man. He never blamed anybody for his condition. He never blamed anybody for his circumstance. He never blamed anybody for his situation. He never blamed his team, because when he got there, the crowd was so packed. He kept on working. He kept on grinding. He kept on moving towards his goal. He started building alliances in that crowd. The last point I want to make is this right here. Are you being innovative? That's the thing. Are you being innovative? I want you to get this. This is so powerful. Everybody there only saw 3 entrances into the house. Everybody there. They only saw, including Jesus. They only saw 3 entrances into the house. The front door, perhaps the back door, and the windows. That's it. But this man and his team created another entrance. They created another entrance, and that was on the roof. Let me ask you a question. Does the market that you're trying to go in, is it crowded? Does it seem like it's saturated with all kinds of ideas? Does it seem like there's no room for you? Here's the question. Are you being innovative, or are you trying to do it like everybody else? You got to be innovative, man. You got to look at the situation and ask God to show you your lane. And when he shows you your lane, you have to be bold enough to make it look innovative. Your church, your ministry, your business is not going to grow if it looks like everybody church, everybody business, everybody goal, everybody dream. It's not going to grow. It has to be different. And you have to be able to deliver the message in a different kind of way. You have to be innovative. Does the market that you're trying to go in, does it look saturated with ideas? Does it look like there's no room for you? Maybe you can learn a lesson from this paralyzed man. Maybe you need to say, hey, I'm going to be innovative. I'm going to create another type of entrance in the market for me. Create another type of entrance. I'm telling you, keep going, man. Keep pushing. You're closer than you.